What if I told you that your thoughts were real physical things? It's a crazy idea, right? In this video, I'm going to tell you why it's so important to be aware of the things that you're telling yourself. I want to talk with you for a few minutes about the inner dialogue we have going on within ourselves. Self-talk. Self-talk. We always have thoughts and ideas and conversations going on within ourselves, and this goes on a daily basis. And a lot of what I do in my counseling is listening for people's self-talk. Things that people say, well, I know this is so stupid, or this is so bad, or I'm a failure, I shouldn't have done that, whatever that may be. And I listen for these little things because these are things that people are telling themselves and internalizing and believing as truth. And it seems so innocent, but it's really a big deal. Dr. Carolyn Leaf, in her book, Switch On Your Brain, she presented the idea that thoughts are actual physical things. And that sounds like a great idea to think about, but she literally meant that thoughts are real physical things. As physical as the tree is behind me, she says that thoughts are that physical. And in fact, in her book, she takes a picture and says, this is what a thought is. This is a picture of an actual thought. And it's kind of a revolutionary idea, but I want you to consider that for just a few minutes. If a thought is a real physical thing, that means it takes up physical space, real estate in the brain, is what she says. And also another premise is that the brain only has so much real estate to give. It's also a physical thing, so it is not infinite. So when we take in a thought and we let that thought sit there, it's taking up space in our brain, and our brain only has so much space to give. Another premise she says is that if it's taking up space in the brain, then it actually changes the shape of the brain. So let's consider that then, that I start saying I'm a failure, and I let that thought sit there and go unchecked. Well, that changes the shape of my brain, and it changes the shape of my brain based on the idea that I'm a failure. My brain starts making these connections like I talked about in one of my previous videos, and I go on into the next phase and operate as if that's true, and then go into a next thing, have more thoughts, more connections, and this idea of I'm a failure grows and grows and grows. So I want you to consider that when you are having some sort of self-talk going on, whatever it may be, I want you to start being kind to yourself. Don't let a thought sit there that is abusive to yourself. You deserve better than that. A good rule of thumb that I like to use is, would you say that exact thing with those exact words to your best friend? Okay? So, I'm a failure, or I'm a mess up, I'm a mistake. Whatever these things are, if you heard your best friend say those things, the same words you're using about yourself, would you allow your friend to get by with saying that? How would you reword that to your best friend? I'm a failure. Now, you probably messed up in something, and let's not ignore that. I don't want to give anybody a free pass at making a mistake, but you're not a failure, and you're not a mistake. Maybe you made a mistake, and everybody makes mistakes. So I'm going to try to do better next time, and that's okay. So let's start being aware of what we're telling ourselves and not let these thoughts grow, because as they change the shape of our brain, they make more and more connections, and we operate out of these ideas and these connections, and we start to base feelings on this structural root that we've made based on these real physical thoughts that we've had. So as you go into this week, be kind to yourself. Talk to yourself like you're your own best friend.